The South China Sea simmers with tension, warships and fighter jets dominate the surface, but beneath the waves, a hidden war is waged for control of vital infrastructure. It's a war fought with data, not bullets. Undersea cables are the lifeblood of the global economy. Control over them represents immense power, and both China and the US know it. Undersea cables are the nervous system of the global economy. They carry over 95% of international internet traffic. These cables are responsible for trillions of dollars in financial transactions, communications, and data transfer every single day. Without them, our interconnected world would grind to a halt. The South China Sea is a critical choke point for these vital cables. Many of the cables that connect Asia to the rest of the world pass through these contested waters. This geographic reality gives China a significant strategic advantage. Beijing has made no secret of its desire to control the flow of information through these cables. The United States, on the other hand, relies on these cables for its own economic and security interests. Washington is deeply concerned about the possibility of China gaining the ability to disrupt or intercept data flowing through these cables. This concern has led to a tense standoff, with both sides accusing the other of militarizing the region. The fight for control of the South China Sea is not just about physical infrastructure, it's also about cyber warfare and espionage. Both China and the US are engaged in a high-stakes game of digital cat and mouse, each trying to gain an advantage over the other. China has invested heavily in its cyber warfare capabilities. The People's Liberation Army Unit 61398, a notorious Chinese military hacking group, is believed to be responsible for numerous cyber attacks against US companies and government agencies. These attacks are often aimed at stealing intellectual property and sensitive data. The United States is not a passive observer in this digital conflict. The National Security Agency, NSA, is actively engaged in countering Chinese cyber threats. The NSA's activities include monitoring Chinese networks, developing cyber weapons, and working with US companies to improve their cybersecurity. Beyond the realm of cyber warfare, a more traditional form of espionage plays out in the South China Sea. Both China and the United States deploy a range of assets, from satellites to submarines, to gather intelligence in this volatile region. China has been particularly adept at using seemingly innocuous vessels such as fishing boats for surveillance purposes. These fishing boats are often equipped with sophisticated surveillance equipment and manned by members of the People's Liberation Army Navy. They operate in international waters, gathering information on US and allied naval activity. Several incidents in recent years have highlighted the risks of espionage and the potential for miscalculation. In 2022, a Chinese Coast Guard ship shadowed a US Navy destroyer in the South China Sea, coming dangerously close and raising concerns about a potential collision. China's ambitions in the South China Sea are not solely driven by military might. Beijing understands that economic influence is a powerful tool. China has been aggressively pursuing its Belt and Road Initiative, investing billions of dollars in infrastructure projects across Southeast Asia. These investments serve a dual purpose. They are designed to increase China's economic and political influence in the region. They also help to legitimize China's claims in the South China Sea. By integrating the economies of Southeast Asian nations more closely with its own, China hopes to create a network of dependent partners. This economic strategy has raised concerns among US policymakers. They worry that China is using its economic clout to coerce smaller nations into accepting its territorial claims in the South China Sea. This fear has led the US to bolster its own economic engagement in the region. The United States has responded to China's growing assertiveness in the South China Sea with a multi-pronged strategy. This includes strengthening military alliances with countries like Japan, Australia, and the Philippines. It also involves increasing the US naval presence in the region and conducting freedom of navigation operations to challenge China's excessive maritime claims. On the economic front, The US has been promoting the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, or IPEF, an initiative aimed at countering China's economic influence. The IPEF focuses on strengthening trade ties, promoting supply chain resilience, and investing in clean energy and infrastructure projects. The future of the South China Sea remains uncertain. What is clear is that the stakes are incredibly high. The competition between China and the US in this region will have profound implications for the global balance of power, the future of the internet, and the rules-based international order. The hidden war beneath the waves is just beginning.